Alright guys, let's show you how to make a little cameo carving of a flower in an agate. Here's a Lake Superior agate. I'm going to do a demonstrational carving on how to carve a flower. Alright, here's the bits we'll be using to carve a cameo flower in a Lake Superior agate. Here's our candidate for a little flower cameo carving. It sits really nice with a slight angle backwards, so it'll sit very nice on the shelf. We've got a nice shallow pocket here where we'll be able to carve a center in here and then some petals right in the center section is what I'm envisioning. Alright, so I've got my cup bit in. We've got our candidate for carving picked out. Ideally, when I start carving, when I'm using a cup bit like this, we want to start at a little bit of an angle. We're going to center it in the middle of this pocket here. Starting at a slight angle, we're going about a 35 to 45 degree angle. Once we've got the groove started, we'll start to rock side to side just a little bit. Really want to eat into this one quite a ways. We've got it just about where we want to be. Just going to go a little bit further. All right, we've got the center of our flower in there. Now we're going to switch out the bit. We're going to use a thinner nail head or the inverted cone. Let's make a decision here which one we'd like to use. I think I'm going to use the nail head. So this one is flat. You can see like the end of a nail. This is the inverted cone. I think we want to get the line more precise, so we're going to use the nail head next. Right, so I've got the nail head in here. I am using a 2330 Fordham package, is the jeweler's package. This one comes with a foot pedal and a number 30 handpiece. And I'm currently using a little drip system from Kingsley North. They work quite well, but any drip system will work. The Fordham is far superior to a Dremel, but a Dremel with a whip attachment and on-off foot pedal will do the trick. I used it for a number of years. So we're going to pick where we want our pedals on this one. I think I'm going to start off to the side here. We're going to start from the center and work our way out so it doesn't eat into the centerpiece. We're probably going to do, I think, 5 petals on this one. We'll go down about as far as the bit will go. And there we've got it started. I'm going to push upward and backward here to widen out the gap in between the petals just a little bit. And there you can see we've got a nice little gap between the petals. Now we're just going to decide where we want to put the petals in between there and how many we want to do. I think we're going to go 1, 2, we'll have 3, 4, probably 6 petals on this flower. I'm not trying to do any particular flower. I'm just trying to work to the pattern of the stone and what will fit in aesthetically the best. So we started on the outer edge. Now I'm going to go to the inner edge and work our way out so we don't slip into that middle. All right, we've got 2 petals there. Let's do a nice even space. We're going to do right about here. Going to start closer to the center and work our way out. Like I said, if you go from the outside to the inside, it's going to want to grab that edge of this circle in the center, and it's going to kind of want to go into the middle there, and we don't really want to do that. You could clean that up with just reusing the cup bit, but we'll try to avoid any extra work. All right, we've got the 3rd petal there. I'm pulling towards me just a little bit and away from me a little bit. You can see we're getting a nice little space in between there. We'll rotate it 180 degrees and do it a little bit more. Just going to clean up that bottom edge. I can see a little bit coming through. There, we've got a nice space there. We're going to do the same with that one previously. Just go a little further. It's going in quite a ways, so we might have to use a different bit to get in there far enough to be able to do that. And we're going to add 1 more petal here. So we're going to do right in between these 2, roughly right about there. And you could draw them on there, your lines ahead of time. I like freehanding some of the carving where I just go as I go without lines. Sometimes I'll draw on there with a permanent marker, works real well. So we're going to shape the petals a little bit. We're going to clean up this top edge of this petal here. We've kind of got a different shape there. So we're going to bring it in and refine the edge a little bit. I'm going to round the corners on that petal. All right, we're going to do the same on all these. We're going to go around the outer edge and just eat it down a little bit, give it a little more definition, and go underneath the petals so they stick out. You'll get a little bit of a shadow look when the light plays on it. You can see I'm just going right underneath the edge of that petal. And we're going to move on to the next one here. Going to round the corners in a little bit. And just accent the outside edge of it by carving underneath, giving a little bit of relief. All right, that's looking pretty good. We're going to pull towards ourselves with the bit and refine the edge just a little bit more. And we'll go on to the next one here. And it's starting to come together really nice. You can see the edges of the flower are getting nice and rounded. Just eating slightly underneath there. And then we'll push towards it now. We're refining that outer edge. And we're going to round the corner a little bit. All right, now this next one, we've got a little bit of a sharp point on the petal. So we're going to round that in. And this is about 120 diamond grit bit. Really goes nicely to have a little more aggressive one with agate. Just looking at it aesthetically, how it looks, refining edges as a need be. I'm going to bring in this outer edge a little bit. All right, it's looking pretty dang good there, if I don't say so myself. And we're going to smooth out the outer edge around it now, just the surface around. Try to even it out, any little deeper grooves. I'm cutting in the grooves in between the petals. We're going to just smooth it all down a little bit. Have to say, I think carving agates is my favorite medium to work with. It's definitely one of the harder mediums to carve, but I fell in love with Lake Superior agates in my 20s and 30s, and really just have enjoyed working them. And long after I'm gone, people will still get to enjoy these stones. I think of the house I'm in and the car I drive, all these things will be long since gone, and these agates will still be around with the carvings on them. It's looking pretty dang good. All right, so we are going to just go in a little bit more on some of these areas, clean it up. And now we're gonna look for a needle pointed bit. We've got to get one a little smaller than I think I showed you in the beginning. So let me scrounge around here and see if we can't find one that's really super thin. Basically want to go into these little sections and just clean up deep in there to get that groove in between the leaves in there. I think this one will work well. We could use one maybe even a little less aggressive. This one's more like 80 grit. All right, here's one that's a little less aggressive. I think we'll do this one. This one is 120 grit. That should do the trick. You can see it fits in there pretty well. So we're going to switch out the bit, and then we'll go ahead and clean up that little bit right against the center of the flower and in between the petals. All right, so we've got the cone bit in there. Just going to go right in between the grooves here and just clean it up just a little bit. And we'll work down to that quartz layer so we'll get more definition of the flower petals. This side it goes in a little deeper of a sharper angle, so we've got to go pretty deep to get it refined down to the quartz. There's a little bit of a tailing on the edge here. We're going to clean that off. There we go. We've got a little bit here too. Just going to clean up that edge a little bit. There's a little bit of white sticking out. There we go. There, now we're going to switch to a little bit smoother bit. Probably 240 grit we'll switch to next. Alright, I decided to go with a 600 grit bit. We're really going to get into the refining and finishing now. We're going to go right in between those grooves. This will smooth things down. We kind of may want to get even consistent slide back and forth. Going to do all along these edges with the 600 grit. Just going to round down the edges on the flowers a little bit. Take the sharp edge off of them. All these little grooves, just kind of rolling up over the sharp edges. All right, I'm going to stop the camera here and dry it off and take a real look at how things are going. When it's dry, it's a lot easier to see where you're at when the stone is dry. So we've got it mostly dried off here. You can see there's a couple little sharper edges in the middle that I'm going to want to refine down a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, it's looking really good. Really liking how that's coming out. So we'll do a little more refining with a ball-ended bit. This one is 600 grit, a nice ball-ended bit. We're going to kind of just go over all the areas in small little circles here. All right, so now we are going to just clean up that center a little bit. We're going to put the same cup bit in we started with. All right, we've got the cup bit in there that we started with. We're going to just accentuate the center a little bit. We're not going to roll around too much, just a teeny bit of a circle. Clean it up just a little bit. And there we have it. We're going to dry this off and then apply a little mineral oil and it'll be all done. That's how you do a little cameo flower in a Lake Superior agate. All right, there's our little cameo flower all done and oiled up. Really turned out nice. I love how this natural little saginite needle goes into the bottom. It looks like the stem of the flower. It'll sit really nice like this on the shelf. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to my world, waynesworldagates.com and Wayne's World Agates and Fine Art on Facebook. Get out there and create something.